War 5 here, taking a look at bans Apocalypse, Kingpin, and Cosmic Ghost Rider again. Alright, Chavez Boss, we've got Scorpion, Kitty Pryde, and Immortal Abomination, Mangog, Magic, Mr. Negative, and Quicksilver, Scorpion, Fury, Corvus, maybe even Warlock, Bishop there, Rolk, Kitty Pryde, Doom, pretty easy, Immortal Abomination, could probably get away with Sunspot as well, Sasquatch, Archangel, and Human Torch, Cersei there, Symbiote Supreme, Anti-Venom, and then King Groot, you've got Rintraw and Hood. Section 2, paths 1 through 3, Surfer on the way out, and you've got Null, Archangel, or Warlock would probably even work. Path 1, just bring a heal block counter, nothing really too crazy there. Omega Sentinel would work, Nimrod for Sauron, and then you could even bring Anti-Venom for Wong. Path 2, I would probably go with Nimrod for Magneto after the boss goes down, or Omega Sentinel before the boss goes down. Mojo, just bring someone buff immune, so maybe Ant-Man or Mr. Negative gets kind of tricky there with the Disorient. I don't know that I'd recommend that. Quicksilver is probably another good option. And then path 3, you can Quake the whole thing, or you can go with Null and Max Coagulate, or you can use Claire for Super Scroll, and then Nebula for Angela. All right, and then 4 through 6 on the way in, Annihilus. You can probably just use Doom, maybe even Rintraw, possibly even Shang-Chi. And on the way out, you got Rintraw, so you can use Kitty Pryde, Human Torch, maybe even Mr. Negative. Path 4 there, probably G99 or Warlock for Havoc, and then Doom, Shang-Chi, or Mole Man for Null. Path 5, Doom is going to be your most fun, most tanky counter for Nova, and then Killmonger or Mole Man for easy spam counter punching. Path 6, you can use Cap Sam, Omega Sentinel, or Nimrod for Kitty Pryde, or even Silver Centurion. And then for long shot there, Kitty Pryde, Human Torch. Those are probably your higher options. You're going to have to dex his special one. You're not going to want to block it. So maybe you can even use Nimrod and block the specials and then convert them to shocks. 7 through 9 on the way in, you've got Gallon. Probably slap on an Odin pre-fight and use either Blade, Rintraw, or Hood. And then Gore on the way out, Rintraw or Hood. Or any like Symbiote Supreme, any good Mystic counter to Gore. 7, Warlock for Domino there, and then really any skill champ like Fury, Shang-Chi for Joe. Just make sure you push him to special 2. Path 8 there, kind of silly. Just bring a counter to Man-Thing, either a Poison Immune or Mr. Negative. And then path 9, you can use that Blade synergy with Odin for Maw, or use an Ant-Man, or use Nebula. And then Hulkling, if you use that Odin with Rintraw or Gore, or sorry, not Gore, Rintraw or Hood, you probably get away with that as well for Hulkling. Doubling back for 1 through 3 in section 2 on the way in, you've got Nimrod. You can use Tigra, Rintraw, or you could use a Nullify Immune, so Mr. Negative, or Nebula, since it is a robot. Kingpin there, Archangel or Omega Red. Void there, I would use Jabari or Shang-Chi, any of your shruggers that aren't obviously Kingpin since he's banned. Section 1 through 3 on the way out, Mephisto, Kitty Pryde, or Human Torch with Nova Flame. Path 1, you can get away with Elsa. You can use Falcon. Plenty of options there. Path 2, Weapon X, you can Quake it if you want, or you can use a Nimrod or Omega Sentinel. And then Korg, use Omega Red or really any energy counter towards Korg, energy hits or non-contact hits. And then path 3, Hulkling, Gallon, pretty much nukes that Colossus there. 4 through 6 on the way out, Killmonger. You've got Doom. You've got Kitty Pryde. You've got Namor. Path 1 there, Blade, nothing too special. Shang-Chi, Fury, any of your Shruggers are going to work out there. Path 5 there, you could Kitty the whole thing. You could pick up a Corvus Charge off Misty, just have White Magneto, and then you would want a counter like Human Torch with Nova Flame or Archangel for, not really Archangel, no, because Knockdown's going to remove, I guess you could get away with Archangel for Mordo, could probably even use Warlock. And then path 6, Nebula, Human Torch, Mr. Negative, plenty of options for that Dragon Man there. Hyperion for 7 through 9 on the way out. Anti-Venom would work. Symbiote Supreme, Warlock would work. Path 7 there, Warlock for Immortal Abomination. And then for Terrax, I mean, kind of tough with Cosmic Ghost Rider out. You could use Namor. You could use Omega Red and just kind of melt them away. I'd honestly be curious to see how Shang-Chi would work as well. But the longer that fight goes, the worse it gets. Path 8, Arcus. You got Doom, you got Hood, you got Rintrah. And Path 9, Mr. Fantastic. You can go with Jabari Panther or Shang-Chi. And then for Fury, I would probably go with Penny Parker exclusively, maybe even Kitty Pryde. So that does it for defense. Let's take a look at attack. All right, so War 5s against GT40. Today I had a pretty niche role. I had the rank 4 champs and rank 3 Ant-Man to take specific fights to help out with Path 9 pretty much. So I had Mr. Negative, Shang-Chi, and Ant-Man. I assisted on Path 9 in both Section 1 and Section 2. And I had a middle mini-boss along with a mini-boss on Boss Island. So Shang-Chi's fight on Path 9 in Section 1 was this Mr. Fantastic here. Kind of just blindly decided to go with Slow Wushu into Cleanse Wushu into Parry Heavy Reset. However, the only time I put the Cleanse before the Slow was after Mr. Fantastic threw a special 1. I really wanted to get those debuffs off of me so that I could prevent building too many Incinerates or Poisons. Since if the Cleanse is first, I will shrug. I think it's just 4 debuffs that are on me, and then I will get 4 Cleanse charges. So if I had done a Slow and then tried to do the Cleanse Wushu after a special 1, there was a risk of maintaining an Incinerator Poison. So there were a couple times he was passive, so I do decide to hit into his block to stun him. It's fine. So there's a special 1. I threw the Slow. Shouldn't have done that. Should have went Cleanse. But it's fine. We got all the debuffs off of us. We are at a special 2 here, and I did actually skill boost. And this is going to push me all the way to special 3, which isn't at all what I want. Would have been nice to be at special 2 there and finish the fight. But we throw the special 3, and it's going to be the following combo that knocks Mr. Fantastic out. So I could see this being a Shang-Chi trap. Maybe I walk out of here with the special 2 debuffs on me from too many debuffs and not being able to cleanse it, but as long as we play it slow and smart, we prevent that from happening. The reason I could see that as a trap was this void here with Cosmic Ghost Rider out. This definitely makes it a Shang-Chi priority along with that Mr. Fantastic. So here, Void is less scary because he doesn't have the Fury that he would on Node 9. But he definitely has a larger health pool here since he is a mini boss. It's well over 300k. It's close to 320. But here the game plan is still the same as if he was on path 9 in section 1, cleanse, wushu, parry, heavy reset. I'm paying attention to all the timers, but I'm paying attention to his intimidation debuff timer, intimidating debuff timer, to make sure that I have cleanse up and I don't reset early as a debuff is going to place. So if I have cleanses and a debuff is going to place, I wait just a little bit to heavy before resetting, and then I go ahead and heavy reset when the debuff gets cleansed. So here we are on our second special 2. I see that dex debuff comes up. I was a little worried I was going to get a heavy there, and luckily I was able to reparry, and I would have eaten a heavy there. Wouldn't have been the end of the world. It's Shang-Chi's last fight, and he finished it pretty high on health, but it would have just been annoying. So Shang-Chi does his job. Now, the fight I was most focused on was this Ant-Man versus Maw. Ant-Man is shock and poison immune, so he can handle this. He's also now buff immune, so I'm not going to take any degen. And technically, he's a miscounter, but it's not nearly as reliable as you would want it to be for an actual miscounter. So really, the focus here for me, I added Resonate. It was to help with focus before we got our fatigues up from Special 1. But once we get our fatigues up from Special 1, as long as we're able to maintain them, we're going to be prolonging his focus, doubling the time once we heavy him. But here we didn't really have a window. I couldn't reliably get in range for a heavy attack in retaliation to his heavy, so I decided it was just going to be Special 1s. And there I felt like Falter was going to ruin it, so I decided not to throw it, just waiting it out. So we got to Special 1 before we were able to heavy him. I went ahead and threw on those fatigue debuffs. Again, a Falter shows up on that Special 1, so it doesn't work out. We get a few more fatigues from blocking while he has the unsteady debuff. And here I'm just trying to wait out the bleed, but I'm also sometimes retaliating the heavy and using a pin particle to reset debuffs so that we don't lose them as we build the Special 2 here. The game plan I had was Special 1 to Special 2 instead of trying to max out fatigue and then getting to Special 2 with max pin particles. I figured some damage over time as we build to the max potential, whether it be slow or fast, would be more than enough to take out this Maw, especially if we played patiently. So we're getting our heavy attack windows in here. He's losing focus. It's taking forever for him to get it back because of the non-damaging debuffs we've got on him. And now we've actually converted some fatigue to poison, and now he's just melting away. So there are going to be a couple more heavies coming up. We're actually run out of pin particles right here. That was the last time I was able to reset the timer. And I actually do a couple hits while in bleed, thinking I have pin particles, and he just kind of keels over. So Ant-Man debut works out perfect for what I was expecting it to. Really happy I have that rank up. I actually don't think we have another rank 3 Ant-Man, at least that I know of, so I was filling that role. And then the fight I've been doing all season, finally running into a rank 4. We've got all Mr. Fantastic debuffs here. We've got Shang-Chi Synergy to help with degen, but it's not actually that reliable, so we only get a couple. And then I threw on Science Boosts here. GT40 places defenders with proper masteries, so I understood that there was a chance this Mangog would have unfazed, or at least trigger unfazed. So we did the 3 parries, the heavy on the 3rd. We did the 4th because we had time. Evade counter with 3 hits, no unfazed, so we're good there. I end up actually parrying 2 hits of that Special 1, which was perfect because it allowed fewer parries outside of the Special 1. Now I'm ready. There's the unfazed. It's fine. I don't panic. I feel it out and felt I could intercept there, which I do. And I intercept into Special 2. We get 3 additional degens from the Shang-Chi synergy. And I had already figured with a rank 4, we're probably going to have to build again, but with all the right debuffs and all the right boosts, we managed to solo that Mangog with 1 Special 2 degen. So felt pretty dang good to go in there and just rip it apart. Our battle group actually lost to theirs 1-3, so it wasn't a good war for us. And we actually ended up losing this war 5-6. So that's the most I've seen GT40 give up against us ever since they've been on their #1 war champion run. So they actually gave us a great opportunity to capitalize and win this time, but we just didn't show up. It was super frustrating. It's our second loss out of 5 wars. So yeah, I mean, there's not much more to add to that. It's pretty disappointing. Yeah, still kind of working towards top 3. Haven't consistently hit it, but I know we went into this season shooting for number 1, and this kind of result just isn't going to get us there. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit subscribe, hit like, and I will catch you guys at the next one.